In this Tower Fantasy video, I'm going to give you my absolute best healer build, including chipsets, weapons, simulacra traits, and playstyle. This is a benediction build made specifically for healing and support and nothing else. Now before I get into the build, if you're new here, please subscribe to this channel for Tower Fantasy gameplay guides, turn on notifications if you like videos like these, and after this video is over, check out some of the other content that I have to offer over on my channel for this game and others you might also like. Alright, so my best benediction support build to get the absolute most effective heals out is just going to be the Staff of Scars from Pepper, Zero's negating cube, and then Venus from Nemesis, along with the Nemesis simulacra trait. The simulacra trait that you awaken with Nemesis at 1200 points is Nemesis Metamorphosis, and it just says after summoning an electrode, you're going to deal volt damage equal to 60% of attack to all enemies within 30 meters of the electrode, and heal all allies, including the user within its range, by 120% of attack. So basically, it's just going to be an HOT, like a healing overtime, as long as you and your allies are around the electrode. Now, just as an aside before you go into your matches, your joint operations, or whatever the case may be, make sure you change your match settings to read benediction so you don't get paired up with somebody else who's doing heals, so you don't have like double heals and you have like no damage. So make sure it's selected on benediction only. Alright, so the reason why I use Staff of Scars is because it has 4 really good qualities about it. It has a super fast weapon charge speed, so if you spam the attack button, you're going to get weapon charge super fast, and that's really good, especially if you use a chipset that helps you get weapon charge, which I'm going to show you the chipsets on all these weapons in just a second, but I'm going to tell you about the Staff of Scars first. The first activation of the Staff of Scars, you get to heal all teammates within 10 meters for 100% of attack after using a dodge skill. So without even using any of the skills for healing, you can dodge around your teammates and you can get them healing back. The first dodge skill is going to be Surge, and it's basically you tap normal attack during the short perfect dodge window to trigger a Surge. Each wave of energy deals damage equal to 22.6% of attack plus 50 to targets and grants 75 weapon charge points upon use, so that's huge. And then you have Tesseract. Tap normal attack during the short period after dodge to trigger Evasive Blast. Fire an energy orb forward, dealing damage equal to 32.1% of attack plus 71 to targets in its path every 0.3 seconds up to 5 times. And that's also going to grant 75 weapon charge points upon use. So either time you use one of these dodge skills, you're going to heal your teammates and you're going to get a lot of weapon charge back. Its skill Sanctuary, you create an energy shield at the Wanderer's location. You heal all allies within the shield for 81.7% of attack plus 180 every second, and reduce their damage taken by 3% for 10 seconds, and it's going to have a 60-second cooldown. The discharge skill Swift Deliverance, when weapon charge is full or when Fantasia is triggered, switching to this weapon from another weapon removes all debuffs from the wielder, and the staff continues to remove debuffs from the Wanderer and allies, plus healing nearby Wanderers and allies for 79% of attack plus 174 HP for 7 seconds. The rest of the Staff of Scars activations are all really good too. The second activation increased the current weapon's base HP growth by 10%. Normal attacks also fired 2 missiles, each dealing damage equal to 5% of attack to the target and restoring 5 weapon charge points. But it's these last 2 that are actually really good. I'm just going to read this. Activated increased speed of obtaining weapon charge by 20%, which is really huge. And then activated grant all teammates within range 60% damage reduction whenever a skill dispels control effects from the target. And the Matrices chipsets that I run on the Staff of Scars is going to be the ones that you get from Pepper. Actually, it's going to be non-stop, and the 3-piece set bonus increases speed of obtaining weapon charge by 10%. Now, like I said earlier, you really don't need this chipset with this weapon, but if you put it on there like I have, you're going to get your weapon charge super duper fast, because it already comes super fast, but you're going to get it really fast with this chipset. So definitely put that on there. Or if you want, you could change this out and use something like with Uproot, the 3-piece set bonus, using a discharge skill to switch to the current weapon grants 80, 100, 120 weapon charge. So either one of those chipsets for the Staff of Scars will be really good. The next weapon that I suggest for this build is going to be Zero's Negating Cube, because right now, honestly, this is probably going to be the best overall support weapon in the game. Not the best healer, but overall support, because it has a bunch of different abilities that just other weapons do not have. If you have this thing activated at any stars, it's just amazing. I currently don't have it activated at any stars, but if I did, it would definitely be the best weapon. The first star, basically when you deal damage and produce a healing orb which lasts for 20 seconds and restore HP of any teammate who picks it up equal to 60% of attack, and that's going to have a 2-second cooldown. So basically whenever you're attacking, you're always going to have the ability to throw out these healing orbs at the first star activation, which is super huge. The second, third, and fourth, they're okay, not that good. It's the fifth and sixth that are really good. Damaging a target also produces a damage orb which lasts for 20 seconds and increases all damage and healing of any teammate who picks it up by 2% for 30 seconds, and it stacks up to 10 times, and it has a 2.5-second cooldown. And then the 6th star is using a skill grants allies healing orbs and damage orbs equal to the number of Omnium cubes. Even if you don't have any stars for the negating cube, you still have a really cool ability called Omnium Shield, and it creates shielding for yourself and nearby allies to block up to 800% of attack and damage for 10 seconds and deals 142.9% of attack plus 360 damage to nearby targets and launches them. But each cube in possession, when the skill is used, adds 160% of attack to max shielding and exhaust the cube, and has a cooldown of 60 seconds. So basically you get to give all of your teammates a shield. So if your healing is down, or if somebody is weak, they just took a really big hit and your heals are not up, you could switch over to this ability and use the shield. I like to wait every 60 seconds and then have this thing on the ready, so if I see my teammates are kind of low, we're fighting a boss or something like that, and one of them takes a really big hit, I'll be able to switch over and use this, especially if I don't have any heals up. That sort of buys me a little bit of time so I can throw some heals on and give them just some extra shielding. The chipset that I like to use on Zero's Negating Cube for this build is the Barbosa set and Double Nightmares, and it says on the 3-piece set bonus, upon switching to the weapon, gain 50% damage reflection for 3 seconds, cooldown 30 seconds. Upon switching to another weapon, gain a 20% damage boost for 5 seconds and cooldown of 30 seconds. And the final weapon of this build is going to be the Ventus from Nemesis, and this is going to be your main source of heals and DPS. Somebody asked in one of my comments if this weapon was good even at no stars. I have it at no stars, and this weapon is still amazing. There was a run that I did where I was supposed to just be healing, and I was only going in to heal, but I also got top DPS specifically because of this weapon. And one of the reasons why is because it has something called elemental resonance, volt resonance. Increase volt attack by 15% and volt resistance by 25%. Activate by equipping 2 or more volt weapons. This set's effect do not work with others. So I have this, and I also have the Pepper Staff of Scars, so I've got that resonance with this weapon, so that's why it was so good. Now, I don't have this weapon at any stars, but if I did, it would be super good. The first star, it says after using Pulse Lock or Particle Beam Burst, creates 1 electrode that immediately grants the user 5 stacks of Healing Chain in hands. In addition, unleash a Healing Chain that heals nearby allies by 135% of the Wanderer's attack. So even at 1 star, this weapon is amazing. The other activation stars that I think are pretty good are probably going to be 3, 5, and 6. The third activation, it says every 6 seconds the electrode will unleash Ring Lightning, which deals damage equal to maximum of 205% of attack in target area. And then number 5, it says after using Pulse Lock, increase the Wanderer's attack by 5 plus number of electrodes times 5% for 25 seconds. So that's actually really good. And then this one, the best, 6 stars to activate. Up to 2 electrodes can be active at the same time. Summoning more electrodes will replace the ones furthest from the user. So that's actually really good. The discharge skill, Particle Beam Burst. When a weapon charge is full or Fantasia is triggered, switching to this weapon will clear all debuffs from the user and command Venus to fire a cross-shaped ray at the ground, creating an unstable area and reducing target's movement speed by 70% for 5 seconds. After a brief delay, unleash an electromagnetic burst that deals damage equal to 393.9% of attack plus 868. Using a discharge attack will spawn 1 electrode near the enemy's position that attacks once every 1.5 seconds, dealing damage equal to 39.9% of attack plus 88. The Electrode gains 100% of the Wanderer's stats, can be attacked or healed, and loses 3% of its max HP every second. Only one Electrode can exist at any given time, and summoning a new one will replace the old one. So like I said earlier with the Simulacra trait, whenever you place down the Electrode using the discharge skill, it's going to deal damage and it's going to heal your allies. And the chipset that I like to use for Venus with this particular build is going to be the one from Echo with Uproot 3-set bonus. Using a discharge skill to switch to the current weapon grants 80, 100, and 100 weapon charge. Or I would also use Pepper for the 3-set bonus of non-stop increased speed of obtaining weapon charge. Either or, both of these weapons, either Venus or Staff of Scars, I would switch out either using Pepper on one and Echo on the other. And the relics that I use for this build is basically going to be Missile Barrage, so I can get extra DPS to help out the DPS. And then Kuant, I'm still not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. And Kuant basically just gives you a little bit of protection by giving you a shield. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for this video. If it was at all helpful to you, you can show me your thanks by giving this video a like. If you have any questions about this or anything else Tower of Fantasy related, or if you have any suggestions to make this build better, please feel free to drop them down in the comments. My name is Ventus SGN. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Peace out.